Hello everyone, this is Jasmine Usman Ganang, BS Ed Math 3, and for today's video, I am going to discuss about a worded problem, particularly in solving distance word problem. But before we proceed to the given problem, we will define first the distance word problem. So what is distance word problems? Distance problems are word problems that involve the distance. An object will travel at a certain average rate for a given period of time. In finding the distance, rate, and time, we have the following formulas. First, when we are tasked to find the distance in a certain problem, we have the formula d is equal to r times t, where d stands for the distance, r stands for the rate, and t stands for time. Second one, when we are going to find the rate, we have the formula rate is equal to distance divided into time, or we can also write it as r is equal to d divided into t. So the last one is when we are going to find the time, we have the formula time is equal to distance divided into rate, or we can also write it as t is equal to d divided into r. In solving distance word problem, we need to make sure that we change the units when it is necessary. For example, if the rate is given in miles per hour and the time is given in minutes, then we need to change the units appropriately. So in solving distance word problem, it will be helpful to use a table to organize the information for distance problems. A table helps you to think about one number at a time instead being confused by the question. As we can see in the given diagram, it shows us the steps on how to solve distance word problems using a table. So distance word problems compose of three steps in which helps us to find the answer. Number 1, set up the table and fill in the values from the given word problem. Second, calculate the missing values using the formulas. For distance, t is equal to r times t. For rate, r is equal to d divided into t. For time, t is equal to d divided into r. For the last step, write the equation and solve. So now let's proceed to the example of distance word problem, specifically traveling at different rates. So the question is, a bus traveling at an average rate of 50 kilometers per hour made the trip to town in 6 hours. If it had traveled at 45 kilometers per hour, how many more minutes would it have taken to make the trip? In order to solve the problem, we will use the steps in finding the distance word problem. So step 1, set up a table with rate, time, and distance, or RTD. Second step, fill in the table with information given in the question. In the second step, we will identify the given and find the values for rate, time, and distance. So in the given example, we have two cases. In the number one case, it gives us the rate 50 kilometers and the time 6 hours. On the second case, the given rate is 45 kilometers and the time is not mentioned. So we will just write T. So after putting the numbers into the table, let's proceed to the step 3. So in step 3, fill in the values for D using the formula D is equal to R times T. In case 1, we have R is equal to 50, T is equal to 6. So in order to find the D, we have the formula D is equal to RT. So we will just multiply 50 into 6. So 50 times 6 is equal to 300. In case 2, the R is 45, T is equal to T. The time is not mentioned, so we will just write T. So in order to find the D, we will multiply the R to T. So 45 times T is equal to 45T. So now we have the values per D, which are 300 and 45T. Since the distances traveled in both cases are the same, we get the equation 45T is equal to 300. So in this equation, we will isolate the variable T, and in order to isolate it, we will divide 45 in both sides. After that, we have T is equal to 300 divided by 45. And 300 divided by 45 is equal to 6 2/3. So now we have the value for T, which is 6 2/3 hours. Beware that the question asks for how many more minutes will it taken to make the trip. So we need to deduct the original 6 hours taken. So we have 6 2/3 minus 6 is equal to 2/3 hours. Again, we are asked to find how many more minutes, so we need to change hours into minutes. Note that in every hour, we have 60 minutes, and in this case, we need to multiply 2/3 hours into 60 minutes, and we have 40 minutes. So the time taken would have been 40 minutes longer. That's all for today. Thank you for listening and watching this video. I hope you learned. God bless us all.